Welcome to this next episode of YouTube entitled Green Enclosures. And I apologize, I've got a little bit of a cold here, so this is going to be relatively short, and hopefully the narration won't be too hard to understand. So as we said, the enclosures are greening up. We are seeing some very significant rainfall coming this way, and that means plant vegetation is taking advantage of that resource. This is Bolts climbing up on the greening rock, and you may notice he is shedding. All the wolves here are shedding, and this is something that is done once a year. Wolves have a dense undercoat that's pulled out. Here's Luna demonstrating what it's like to shed when you're a wolf. It doesn't come out kind of in small chunks. It comes out in a thick, dense undercoat, and so we try to comb those out so the wolves don't have to chew on them themselves, but Luna is a little impatient with us getting her undercoat out, so we do that on a daily basis, try to groom them, try to pull that undercoat out. See her a little stiff getting up. See that limp is fairly consistent when she's laying down for a while, but does not prevent Luna from being active. Here she's doing a standover on top of Aiden, and the standover is one of those things where a wolf asserts a little bit of dominance over another wolf, and it happens to be Aiden that she's doing a standover on, and he is indifferent to it and not certain what that's about, but shows no indication of any issues. If that were Bolts or Denali, he would have done something about it. In this clip, you're definitely seeing the signs of, again, Luna being the dominant female. She is the only female. She is actively dominating Denali. And the other thing to notice is that Aiden is right there. He's kind of standing and observing, not really interacting, just kind of observing and watching Luna doing most of the assertive dominance over Denali. And Denali, who is used to being in a subordinate role, just displays the behavior of a subordinate, rolling over on his back and maybe doing a submissive paw, but essentially submitting to Luna's dominance. So it definitely shows you here that size does not dictate rank order by any means. So the wolf yard, again, is pretty active, and we see a lot more activity than we normally would see in this time of the year because they have their full winter coats, and when you do get temperatures over 70 or 75 degrees, they get a little warm for the wolves. But fortunately for us, this is northern Minnesota, and we haven't had a lot of those extremely warm days. So the wolves are still kind of up and moving around. We might have a high of 65 degrees, and that is cool enough that they're going to be active typically in the morning and the evenings, but might even get up in the middle of the day. Again, interesting thing about this clip here is that's Aiden, who's seeking to lay down next to Luna. We're still watching for that pack dynamics and still watching for who's going to be the kind of the pair with Luna. We know Luna is the dominant female. We want to know who the dominant male is going to be. At this point, it's Aiden, but Luna can play a big part in that on who she selects. Then we go over into retirement, and seen a little bit more posturing this week from Shadow and Malik, and this is your classic chin rest, and Malik is doing a little bit of defiance there, a little bit of a growl, but you can see his ears are pricked and turned sideways, so he's not quite as confident in that little endeavor versus Shadow's ears are pricked and turned forward, and you can see just by those facial postures, ear postures, who's the more confident of those two. Not sure what that set that off. Shadow's been a little bit responding to me personally. I've been a little bit under the weather and having a few issues, and Shadow, I've noticed, just really kind of responded differently about me as I'm dealing with these things, and that may mean that he is asserting a little bit more dominance over Malik, and not really sure why, but that's the way wolves are. So here he is in the den, and we are obviously starting the fly season, so we'll be back to spraying the den with cedar and trying to keep the flies to a minimum. Again, these two are less than tolerant of fly ointment, so a little bit of a challenge. And then we'll end this YouTube with Grizzer Howlin', and this is in response to Shadow and Malik. So again, sorry it's so short. Hope I feel better next week. Thanks for watching.